know. It won't be long. I know. Look, you'll just have to tell my shuffle dance class I'm going to be late, okay? I've got some RC stuff to do and it's really important. Hey? What? Portals? They're replacing everything with straight normal axles again? Are you kidding me? I've just got a Mog, I've just got a TRX4 chassis and it's got portals on. You mean I'm not fashionable? Oh, hang on, I've got to go. Hi everyone. Sorry about that. It's my agent. Yes, so it's Mog update time. So the last time we saw the Mog, you had the interior. It was all you saw it in the truck and bolted down and everything else. Now, in case you're wondering, apparently side saddle is the Royal Marines way of riding a giant reindeer. Who knew? Frank certainly did, and I'm going to leave him to him. I'm not going to annoy him any further. Here's the cab. Now the reason it looks like a burnt out shell from a council estate is because I've sprayed the window seals on the outside. There's a very strong demarcation line, and so they've been painted black from the outside. Obviously I masked the inside first, and I've put a coat of black over the top. So when I'm painting the outside properly, the glazing is in, I will mask across the front. And there's a nice, as I say, nice demarcation line to run the masking tape up to. I'll probably have to run some black in afterwards just to, but anyway, it should be a fairly simple job to do. You can also see the inside has been painted. Not only has it been painted, I've put a wash on it last night. This is the only thing I've kind of got near finishing with a wash and so on. So you can see inside there, we can see I've got the black seat belts. The styrene sheeting and detailing I added to the back wall kind of begins to look a little bit more in place now. Yeah, so you can kind of get an idea. There's the roof with the hatch, the little aircon unit I fabricated up there. Fabricated up, it's just a bit out of a spares box. Didn't really fabricate anything. But it sounds good, doesn't it? Anyway, I did kind of fabricate the door cards there. You've got those there, painted in some of the parts have been painted black, some of them left body colour green, so they kind of stand out. Now remember, I've got the L-shaped, the inverted L-shaped pieces to go around. Where are you on the camera? Let me just, there you go. So it's going to come, doing this backwards, this way. Okay, so this is going to have an L-shaped piece of black, now black plastic, across the glazing to match the black surround otherwise. So once that's in place, it should look pretty door-like, I think, pretty convincing, and that's the aim. Obviously, these doors don't open, and there's no detail inside. Just to recap slightly for some of you not watched the previous episode, I'm trying to just make a door look like a door on the inside. It looks fab on the outside, it looks like a proper door on the outside, but on the inside it's just smooth plastic. So I've got to have some kind of eye to that. Now, the dashboard. Not sure how much of this you're going to get to see because it's hard to get light and the camera in at the same time. But I've tried to bring out some of the detail on that, hoping this is in focus while it's being waved at you. There is stickers on the dashboard. I promise you, once it's all done and painted, you will get a better view of what I've done in there, hopefully. I mean, this is the problem with the access, as I've mentioned. You can't see in there very well, and I can't get in there to do very much. So there's a half convincing dashboard with some dials on it. Should we get a nice through the window shot with some light that you can use. You can see. So that's the shell. Did I show you last time? I think I showed you last time the foam. Where are you? There you go. So you can see the foam in the back of the grille there. So the grille is no longer see-through, and I hope you can agree it really stands out now, which it wasn't doing before. Onto the seats next, and you can see that we've got this is the driver's seat with the hole in the back for Frank to be secured to, and it's got the ripped up front where his legs are going to go. So the other one's pretty much pristine. They've both been airbrushed, a slightly different colour green to the cab, so they're going to stand out a little bit. And I've seen all sorts of pictures of these things done in different colours. I'm going to sit down, I'm getting old. I've seen all sorts of pictures of these things in various different colours, and what not matching and this kind of thing. I think there were vinyl seats in the army Mogs, and obviously they got torn and stuff, and they'd be replaced with another one, completely different colour probably. But I've done them both the same kind of colour. I have airbrushed them with my cheap knockoff eBay airbrush, and I could have put more paint on to get a more consistent finish, but I have left a slightly inconsistent paint finish. They were both primed. Everything's been primed in Halford's Primer Grey from a tin, a rattle can, and I've airbrushed the green over the top. Now it's not completely covered, so it's not a completely even finish. I've also satin lacquered them, so it's got like a satin coat on the top, because I didn't want to have a completely matte finished, what's meant to be a vinyl seat. Now I don't know whether you can see that there is a degree of light reflection and sort of light bounce from the studio light up there, you know, which is kind of cool. So they've got a nice little sheen on them, just a little bit different to the cab itself, which is obviously a very heavy matte. So they're going to get washed and very slightly weathered. I'm not going to do a great deal to them. I actually quite like them as they are. So I'm just going to do a little bit more to bring out the lines, bring out the detail, and leave them at that. Okay, and that brings us to the cab floor, which is the only bit left to talk about. And here she is. So the base coat of primer is still there. You can still see the grey. It would normally have a black rubber mat all the way through the interior, and I've not bothered with that because most of the floor is either covered by the chairs or cut away to allow the shock towers and servo and so on. So I just ignored that idea. I will just put a wash straight on the grey. For what little of it you'll see through the cab window, can't say I'm bothered. You probably won't see any of it, I think, is the honest answer. I just don't think you're going to see anything of the floor. You will hopefully see a little bit of transmission tunnel. So I've painted that. It's the same green as the interior of the cab, so it kind of matches through the basic cab structure. The gear levers, I've put some black. I don't really want to say black knobs, but what choice have I got? It backs me into a corner. Anyway, so they're a bit more detailed now, and the console, I've brought out a few of the bits of detail. A few of the panels I put on there have now been painted in black. Little radio mocked up and so on. I will obviously put a wash on that and highlight it a bit and generally make it a bit more obvious what's going on. And that's kind of it, folks. There's not really a lot else to update you on as far as this goes. I'm liking the kind of look, the kind of colours. I think it's going to look pretty good for what of it you're going to see. It may not be very much at all, so could all be fool's errand. Wouldn't be the first time. Which then allows us to move on to the next part. So once I get this on, what I'm going to put the interior in and hopefully kind of leave it, and then I've got to get the glazing in, because I don't want to have to take the whole interior out again to put the glazing in afterwards, and on all the handling and mucking about that's going to entail. So yeah, I'm really going to be focusing more on, I'll get the glazing in, get the interior in, get the windows sealed up with masking tape, and then she's good to go. From there I want to get it mounted to the chassis, and I want to check out all the gaps. So I have seen in the kit, remember the kit I've got, you get any instructions, just get a box of bits, a bag of bits. So I don't really know what they all are. I've had a quick rummage. It does appear that I get some steps which go in these slots that you maybe can make out there. So it's a couple of steps, which is nice, but there is still going to be a lot of chassis exposed under the cab and under the body. And I can put a spare tyre in. The spare tyre would live here as well, so that's something I'm going to make up. Get a spare tyre wedged in there to fill some of the gap. You've got boxes and rails and stuff. I just want to have a good idea as to how much of the chassis I'm going to have to hide still. Hopefully not a great deal of it. So that's going to be kind of round one, is to just get this whole thing sort of semi-assembled and have a look at the whole thing in that with that kind of critical look as to how much of the chassis I want to be able to see afterwards. Then I'm going to paint the chassis. That's currently a mint brand new TRX Sport chassis, so it needs to be painted. It needs to be blackened out or green. I don't know whether I'm going to go green with it or stay black. I'm not sure which of those two I'm going to do, but something needs to be done to it, and it needs to be weathered and a bit, you know, kind of a bit like the Hummer if you've seen the videos. You know, you probably can't tell that much with the Hummer, which is exactly the point. I don't really want you to be able to notice the chassis too much. Ooh, look at those shocks, look at this red bit, look at that red bit, you know, it's like, no. Just get the whole thing hidden, blended in. The shell really is the star of the show, the chassis just needs to be there. Well, to stop its arse dragging on the ground, really. So yeah, the chassis painting will be the big thing, and I guess that's probably where we'll pick the next video up, if I get enough work done and get enough time with this stuff. Maybe next week I'll have the chassis painted, and we can have a look how that went. But for now, that's it from me, from Frank. Say goodbye, Frank, before you canter off into the distance. Oh, come on, okay, down you come. You can't say goodbye from up there, can you? Alright. Bye, everyone, says Frank. Ooh, he's a bit unsteady on his pins. I think he's got reindeer sickness or something. Anyway, take a bow, Frank. And on that disappointing note, we'll say good night. Good night from me, good night from him, good night from him. Thank you. Goodbye.